Hey, it's Patrick Grosser with the 513 Flat Fee Real Estate Group at Fathom Realty. You may have heard about our full-service flat fee listings through a postcard in your mailbox recently. We'll talk more about those in just a second, but first we'll look at the Cincinnati real estate market news for October of 2023 and compare that to October of 2022. First of all, new listings are down 4%, closings are down 39%, average sale price is up 8%, average days on market is at 19 days, total inventory right now is at 83 days, while active inventory is at 47 days. It is still a seller's market, but not as hot as it was earlier this year. So if you want to net the most money when you sell your home, you need a more sophisticated marketing approach, but you don't have to pay a 6% commission to get that because it comes standard with our full service flat fee listings. Visit our site at 513flatfee.com to learn more about our service and to find out how you can net the most money when you sell your home. Interest rates have been the hot topic this year in the real estate industry, not just in Cincinnati, but also throughout the entire country, as we saw interest rates for mortgages go from 5% all the way up to 8% as of a couple weeks ago. It's been an alarming climb. Obviously, it's less affordable for buyers. It's pushed a lot of buyers away from the market. It's made homes harder to sell, or at least take a longer time to sell, as there's been fewer buyers that are willing to pay 8% interest. We did get a little bit of relief from that this past week. We see that the average mortgage interest rate is actually less than 8%. It's about 7.95%. Never thought, if you asked me last year, that I'd be reporting that as good news, that it's 7.95%. So it's certainly still very expensive compared to what the rates were just earlier this year, or certainly a couple years ago. So the purpose of the Federal Reserve raising interest rates is to combat inflation. If they make money more expensive to borrow, then people are going to spend less money, which we're definitely seeing in the real estate market. Fewer people are buying homes than they were when the interest rates were lower. So it basically destroys or reduces demand. So that's what happens. And then as a result of that less demand in the market, we see prices come down. So that's one of the levers that can be pulled of many in the market. That's the purpose of raising interest rates by the Fed. Now, they haven't cut rates or even paused raising rates yet, but they have reported and said some things about the economic reports that they're seeing. The numbers they're seeing there point to the fact that inflation is not rising at the rate it was before. Jobless claims are starting to rise. Maybe we're heading into a recession, or we're already in one. Regardless, it seems like the interest rate hikes that they've been doing have had the desired impact on the economy to slow the market down, to slow down rising prices, to slow down, to curtail, combat inflation. So the economic reports are good news in the terms of if you're looking to buy a home or make another large purchase and borrow money to do that. It seems like the rates are going to start going downward. Now, we don't know how far they're going to go down. There is a report from an economist from the National Association of Realtors. One of their chief economists has predicted that rates will get down for mortgages into the 6% range next year. I've stopped really following all the predictions because all the predictions, even of the experts that are very trusted, have been wrong up to this point several times. But we do think that maybe we've already reached a peak. Maybe 8% was the high. Maybe we're going to start falling from there in terms of interest rates. And maybe we'll have some relief, whether you're buying a home or borrowing money for other reasons, where we'll have lower interest rates here going forward. But regardless of interest rates, as I've said many times, if you've watched some of my videos, I've repeated it over and over again, so you've heard this before. But I don't recommend trying to time the market. I don't recommend buying a home at a certain time when rates are lower. It sounds like a good idea. That's what a lot of people are doing because they don't want to pay 8% on a mortgage. They'd rather pay 5-6%, right? So they certainly don't want to trade their 3 to 4% loan to sell their home and then buy one for 8%. But I think you need to make a decision, at least I would, if I'm purchasing a home. If I want to move and I have to purchase and sell a home in order to make that move, I wouldn't be trying to make that decision based on where the rates are for a couple of reasons. Number one, if we wait until rates go down to our desired rate, whatever that magic number is for you, there's going to be a lot more buyers that are going to be in the market doing the same thing. So we're going to have an increase in demand, which is going to cause prices to rise. So go back to the rewind the video there, look at the part we talked about. The whole purpose of the interest rates being higher was to destroy demand so that prices don't rise as quickly. Well, the opposite is going to happen if rates go down, mortgage interest rates go down. We're going to see more demand. We're going to see home prices go up. So I think it's common sense, if you think that through, that's what's going to happen when interest rates go lower, is there's going to be more demand and higher prices. So we would have to crunch the numbers. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, so it's impossible for us to predict if it's going to be more expensive now versus maybe more expensive in the future to buy a home. But I don't think there's going to be a drastic difference because of the fact that lower rates will result in higher prices. I think to make the decision of if you want to make a move, you have to buy a home, sell a home to do that. It doesn't make sense to try to time the market in terms of how the interest rates are looking right now. If you're considering a move, it's also important to take into account the season that we're in. Obviously, we're heading into fall. We just turned the clocks back an hour. It's getting colder. There's fewer daylight hours. So we're going to see fewer buyers looking at homes as often. Most buyers want to look at a home in daylight hours, and most of them are not going to take time off work during the week to do that. So most of them are typically looking at homes on nights and weekends. And when it gets dark at 6 o'clock, or now it's going to be closer to 5 o'clock as we get into the winter, it's going to eliminate a lot of those weeknight showings. So if you're selling your home, it is going to take a longer time, not only because it's colder and less desirable to be outside for home buyers, but also there's just fewer daylight hours. And most home buyers, as you can understand, would want to see your home before they consider buying it, before they write an offer. They want to see it in the daylight, right? They don't want to see it in the dark. So it seems like a small thing, but it actually does impact the market quite a bit. It doesn't mean you're going to sell for less money. It just means that you're going to take a longer time to sell. There's also fewer buyers looking because most of them want to move in the summer when they're out, their kids are out of school. If they do have kids in school, they don't want to switch schools or districts, or even if they're staying within the same school or district, they just don't want to make a move while they're really busy with their kids in school as well. They'd rather do it when they have more free time in the summer. So all of those things contribute to a slower sale, a longer time on the market. But if you're buying a home, that can be an opportunity for you because there's less competition from other buyers out there. There are typically fewer listings as well because most sellers understand that most buyers look in the spring and summer primarily, and so they wait sometimes until spring and summer to list. So there may be fewer opportunities in the fall and winter, but there's less competition. All of that to say, just like with interest rates, I don't recommend trying to time the market. If you're looking to make a move, if it's right for you with your housing needs, with your situation in your life to make a move, then go ahead and do that when you need to, regardless of the weather, the season, regardless of the interest rates. Do what's right for you and just navigate accordingly to get the best results when you're buying or selling a home. If you have any questions about the interest rates or the seasonality and how that affects the real estate business, the industry here, and how that's going to impact you, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, or doing both, feel free to reach out to us. You can visit our website at 513flatfee.com. Click one of those links there to schedule a call so we can set aside some time dedicated to you to assess your needs and let you know how we can help you to achieve your real estate goals. I'm Patrick Grosser with the 513 Flat Fee Real Estate Group at Fathom Realty.